There is a difference between the world of illusion and the greater divine reality, the physical world and the spiritual world. But the world of illusion is not necessarily exactly spiritual in a sense. It is the world of consciousness, but kind of think of like heaven and the spirit world as like these are kind of different concepts. As in, heaven is, like I said beforehand, a cognitive facility within the spiritual world is probably a good way of looking at it. In other words, the spiritual world is a more encompassing, larger element, and heaven exists within that element. But the world of illusion is effectively the spirit world, but more of a conceptualization of what or how you're interacting with it. As in, you exist within the world of illusion. You are a cognitive entity. You do not exist in the physical world. Spirits exist in the world of illusion. They exist in the spirit world, the spirit realm, the Umbra. And to give a loose, easy, small definition of a soul here, a soul is basically a spirit community. That's why a soul and a spirit are different too. It's like a soul is an amalgamation of spirits that form a spiritual community, kind of like a local area network. You know, like if heaven is like the World Wide Web, your soul is like a mini heaven for the spirits within it, a local area network. And souls themselves can get a lot more complicated on how they develop and whatnot, but that's just to show their connection to the world of illusion. Within the world of illusion, and this is like a way to show it to you, like so you understand that the world of illusion is not real. That's why we call it the world of illusion. But it's still a world, a place you can exist, a not real world that you exist in, because you are yourself not something that exists within the real world. To explain this in another way, in the real world, things happen, but in the world of illusion, those things can be interpreted differently, and not necessarily in a wrong way. For example, you have a person who can see colors with their eyes, and you have another person who is colorblind. They're both looking at an object. One sees a red ball, and the other one sees a green ball. Now, the colorblind person is not seeing red or green. They always see the same color, effectively, red-green. To them, there is no difference between red and green. Where you can see a red ball and a green ball, they'll see the green ball. And then when you look at a red ball, they see green. When you look at a green ball, they see green. They see that same color. Are they wrong in their interpretation when they say the color green? No, because that literally is what they're seeing. The information they're getting is not necessarily wrong, they just don't have the ability to detect a difference. Thus, they do not live in a complete reality. And this is not even to get into like post-processing work your brain does when it even gathers information. It's just showing you that within this world of illusion, you are in a world that is created by your mind. But that's how you interact and process with the physical world. Just like in computer programming, you'll have a code and then a graphical representation of that code. So you think you're moving your character on the board, but really you're just a ones and zeros moving on a spreadsheet. That's the real game being played, but there's a graphical representation of it. And that's how you interact with the data. So how you interact with the physical world's data is through these processes. But those processes can be altered and changed. So within the world of illusion, the world that we exist in, the world that our consciousness finds home, we can interact with the physical world by manipulating and using this world. So in other words, what you're seeing is not necessarily real, but a process. And this is like when I say I'm just using color blindness as an easy example. We do all sorts of optical illusions and stuff to show you that what you're seeing is a process. Think of the world of illusion almost as another layer, like a matrix between you and the physical world. Everything runs through this matrix and gets processed. So when you start understanding that this is a different realm, a different world, this is where things are, you realize that you don't exist in the physical world. And when you realize that you exist in the world of illusion, now you start to have at least the foundation to understand what magic is and how magic works. another way of saying this is that illusion is real in the world of illusion. Goblins are real in the world of illusion. Devils are real in the world of illusion. Magic is real in the world of illusion, because if you go with like what the actual word originally root comes from, which just means illusion, you realize that illusion is real in the world of illusion. You know, it deserves repeating. And magic itself, its simplest term, is that it merely is a manipulation within the world of illusion. That is to say, magic is manipulating the world of illusion, causing something to happen in the world of illusion. That doesn't mean it can't have a physical component. You know, like an optical illusion, for example. You can set things up that are physical and real, but will cause a magical effect, an alteration within the world of illusion. Other vehicles such as storytelling that can alter someone's perception. You can create fear where there is no fear. You can do all sorts of stuff with magic, and there's all sorts of different schools of magic. But magic is a manipulation within the world of illusion. So when someone says magic isn't real, I can say magic isn't real, but yet it's also real. It depends where you're referring to it. If you said magic is real in the physical world or the greater divine reality, magic is not real. It is illusion. The word is illusion. It's an illusion. But if you're saying magic is real within the world of illusion, it is real within the world of illusion. Magic is very real. So, and this also comes like with the other older understandings of like, you know, when someone says, I'm casting a spell, they literally mean they're writing down words. That's where the word spell comes from for magic. You spell something out. It's literally writing down words. Because words can influence or, once again, manipulate the world of illusion. That's why they are called magic spells. You're using words to manipulate the world of illusion. Now, when it comes to other things, there's all sorts of other, you know, glamour magics and so forth which manipulate the world of illusion. You know, putting on makeup, for example, is glamour magic. You don't think about it, but you're now changing lines on somebody's face. You're changing coloration and so forth, and now it gives someone a completely different look. Now, within someone's world of illusion, they're perceived differently, perceived more beautiful. That is magic, and you don't think about it that way. Now, if you want to be like, oh, super sciencey and whatnot, you could say this is like just like psychology, sort of. And you can say, well, psychology mixed with a bunch of other things. It's just, once again, the study of the world of illusion, the study of consciousness, the study of awareness. Think about it like that. And thus, when science gets into those ones, it's pretty, you know, interesting territory. They usually call them a soft science, but yet they have hard results. There's things you can do. And I believe a lot of people don't like them because once you start understanding magic and you start understanding the world of illusion, a lot of prior spells that have been cast on somebody start to break down, and a person starts to realize how much they've been manipulated by magic, how much their world of illusion has been affected by the spells of the past. And a lot of times, they like those structures that have been created in their world of illusion, and they don't want to lose them. So that's why a lot of times they reject these understandings, even if you present it in a true way, because they find the lie useful. They find the magic spell does something for them. Whether it's true or not, it's useful, it's functional. And that's one of the ultimate uses of magic, is function. It provides some function, some power over something.